Let me now welcome CS Vigneshwar, President of FADA, joining us on the show. Thank you so much for our time. Mr. Vigneshwar, while everybody is cheering the fact that there have been so many cuts across the segment for the auto division, the dealers are indeed a little bit worried. So the first question remains, what happens to the current inventory in the system? Because all these positive announcements have come at a time just before the festive season where everybody was just filling up their inventory to be ready for the festive season that was lined up ahead. So what is the current situation? What is the solution? And what sort of an uncertainty is prevailing in the market?
Thanks for having us over at your channel. And to place on record, I think it's a fantastic move. We've been asking for this rationalization for quite some time. And I think it's an awesome move by the government. And thank you so much for bringing it over, simplifying it, and also making it clear. This is really going to spur growth. It's really going to make sure that whether it's a commercial vehicle segment, whether it is a three-wheelers, cars, two-wheelers, things are really going to go to the next gear. Having said that, there is still, as you mentioned, some amount of ambiguity because the clarity hasn't been given as yet. We are expecting it in the few days or the next week to come. Regarding the cess, which is already in our books for the vehicles in stock, I'm sure the government is going to show us a way forward to clear this ambiguity and move forward. Regarding the festive season, yes, the festive season is coming in hard and fast. So the quicker we react to this, quicker we are able to understand what the implications of cess is going to be going in the future. I think is going to be great for the industry and a lot of good things to come.
Good things to come indeed, Mr. Vigneshwar. Hi, this is Nehi also joining in. Help us understand how all of these GST announcements, how do they pan out on the pricing front, and what would this mean for dealers? Would they have to bear the brunt of pricing, or are we expecting any relief coming in from OEMs?
What is the pricing we are talking about? Because the pricing of the new GST has actually brought down the cost of the car for most buyers. The only exception seems to be the 350 plus CC in motorcycle segment, which it was going to a higher tax segment, while in every other segment, whether it's a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, tractors, CVs, and cars, the drop either is significant or it's marginal. So there's no way, nowhere in any segment the cost is going up. So I'm a little bit confused here.
To the pricing of the inventory that is still in the system, because this in a way they have to get rid of which is already billed at a higher tax. So in order to push the sales forward, there were some hopes that maybe there could be some bit of benefit coming in from the OEM side. So are dealers anticipating anything of this sort?
So I think it's too early for us to make a call on this because we are still working with the OEMs to understand where they could help us out. But more than that, most of the cess is actually paid to the government. So, and most of the higher tax rates, the taxes have already been paid to the government. So I think the government needs to give us clarity regarding how this can be reversed.
Expecting the clarity to come out with any talks, any timeline that you are hopeful of, because we're already sitting on 4th of September and then it's 22nd September where the new rates will be applicable.
So it definitely has to happen before the 22nd, but hopefully the government will give us clarity much before that so that we can also prep our organizations and we can also talk to the customers regarding this. So I'm sure the government is going to give us clarity in the next couple of days so that we can start priming for the festive season which is coming ahead.
All right, but segment-wise, Mr. Vigneshwar, why don't you help us with your outlook overall? Because for the year gone by, we have already seen, and even the projections that were made from the passenger vehicle players, it was a very subdued demand that they were expecting. The two-wheelers were expected to do a little better, while the outlook for the tractors was quite robust, and it's still panning out to be seen in the numbers. Which segment do you believe will you be open to make adjustments, or rather the time has come to make some adjustments on the positive side with respect to the growth outlook?
So the growth outlook has been pretty much what FADA had predicted 5 months ago. It's been pretty much in line. Yes, the two-wheelers has been slightly lower than expected, but I'm sure things will pick up when the festive season comes. Perhaps people also have been waiting for this GST rationalization. There have been rumors going around for the last few months. Finally, it's in place. The biggest jump or the biggest help is going to be for the entry-level two-wheelers and the entry-level four-wheelers, the passenger cars. So there's been a decent reduction in GST, and therefore there's also been a decent benefit in terms of the rupees saved. I think that's going to be great to start off with, because the entry-level segments in both these verticals have been under pressure for the last couple of years. So that's going to be a good move. And we're also going to be seeing people move up either variant-wise. Instead of going for the lower-end variant, people might go for the higher-end variant, which is good for the customer because there are more features there. There will also be facts that people can actually move from one model to a slightly higher model because of the reduction in GST. And they've already made up their mind regarding the EMIs, and they'll prefer going for a better vehicle for the same EMI. So we would be seeing these movements, but we are yet to see how customer behavior changes. We need to wait and watch. We don't want to bet on horses too early. We'd probably want to see how things go, and then we'd comment on it later to you.
Okay, Mr. Vigneshwar, really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking to us today. Thanks so much once again.
Have a nice day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
The big GST reset is here, with tractors, which were earlier taxed at 12%, that has been slashed to 5%. What does it mean for the industry and Escorts Kubota in particular? Let's try to understand that from Mr. Bharat Madan, whole-time director and CFO of the company. Mr. Madan, and thank you so much for your time. And firstly, the announcement on GST reset, we all know this will be a welcome move, but help us understand the impact of it in the demand that could be likely, because you were expecting that the second half will be a little subdued. So on the back of this, what sort of a demand push is likely in the near and the long term, and which regions do you believe will help the most?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I think, as you rightly mentioned, so this rate cut will have a positive impact on the demand. So as it is, the industry was going positive, and we're expecting 4 to 7% growth for the industry in this year, which was prior to the rate cut. And now post rate cut, hopefully the second half will see a good demand momentum coming in from the farmer side. So we definitely think this will help. I think the demand will be now much better compared to what it was earlier. It may have had a double-digit growth for the industry in this year. So let's see. It's difficult to guess how much will be the really exact impact on this, but the amount of cut which has been there is substantial. I think 7% will translate to almost 40 to 60,000 rupees per tractor impact for the farmers, which is huge, I think, from any standard. So we expect it should be a very good boost for the demand, on the tractor side.
Absolutely. Demand, of course, being one angle of it. But Mr. Madan, how much of the pass-through and the price cut is likely to be passed on?
So most likely, I don't think anyone is going to retain this. Most of the OEMs, we feel, will pass on 100% of the benefit to the market. Because the industry has been under the inventory duty structure earlier, and now with the cut in the input taxes also, and the input costs have also been going to go down. But still, it may remain under inventory duty structure, but the incidence of inversion will come down significantly from where it was earlier. So that's a positive move for the industry also, but this will have a positive impact on the working capital as far as the companies are concerned. At the same time, we'll be able to pass on more or less the entire benefit to the farmers community.
But Mr. Madan, the other concerning factor for the auto industry overall, but help us with your perspective on the tractor segment, is what happens to the compensation cess that is already in the books, because industry players have been seeking some clarity on that with respect to the inventory that is still lying. And from today to 22nd of September, what could of an impact it can make?
Sure. There is no compensation sales. That is more for the automobile industry. So really on our company or industry, there will be no impact of the exchange. But definitely for auto industry, there may be some impact. But I think it's best for them to talk about how they're going to handle it. I think as for the transition transition period is concerned, definitely there will be some issues on the transition side, especially from now till 22nd September, where the demands will remain subdued. Consumers will prefer to defer the buying decision. So there will be some impact on the volume which may happen in this month. But I think if you look at from a mid-term perspective, a long-term perspective, this is a very positive move from the government side. And this benefit will definitely impact the demand positively and give some shot to the economy. Consumption will likely get a good boost.
Right. So, Mr. Madan, what does it do to your numbers? Back of the envelope calculations, because you've maintained your mid to high single-digit growth guidance for the tractor industry in FY26. Now with the GST cut, would you revise the target upwards?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, this will have a positive momentum. I think after 22nd September, especially it's coming in the season time. So obviously there's some concern on the ration side because the supply chain will have some impact in terms of building the stocks with the channel, which probably will get delayed now. So some impact on the volume temporarily, but I think overall for the full year, we expect the overall guidance will only improve from where it was earlier.
All right, but Mr. Pradhan, at present, what sort of a demand that you are getting to see on ground? Because of the rains, we believe that some of the agrochemical players, some of the rural-related players, they are getting to have an impact right now. If you can give us some sense there, and going forward because of this GST reset, which regions do you believe can help you the most?
Last month, as you've seen, I think the Western market had done very well in August, especially with the festive season. This was the early start of the festive season. It started from August itself. So we saw very good growth coming in, and the industry has shown a growth of 27-28% last month. And now I think this same trend will continue from September, October, even though, like you said, on the wholesale and retail volume, temporarily there may be some impact in September, but probably will catch up, I think, in October. So overall, it will still be a positive, momentum for the industry.
Okay, Mr. Madan, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.